Welcome to the Bloody Aussie Battler podcast with your host, Mike Holt. G'day again, and as you can see, I've got Dick Yardley with me here in the studio, swimming around. He's got a he's got a green shirt on, and that makes him disappear. But we'll be talking to the talking head today. How are you, Dick?
Hey, not too bad. Good.
Yeah, don't let the groper eat you.
Yeah.
Mate, we've got together today because there are a lot of questions that I'm getting from people who don't understand how the Constitution works, where the authority comes from, and so on and so forth. So in this picture that we've got on the screen right now, you've got the heraldic coat of arms and a shield. Can you explain that to us first, please, mate?
Well, the heraldic coat of arms is the royal coat of arms, right? Now, it's got a crown on there, which a lot of people worry about, but it depends on what's on the royal warrant, what the crown stands for. Now, that's not the St. Edward's crown. It might just look like it, but it won't be in regards to this subject here.
In other words, this crown is not relevant to St. Edward's.
No, it's got nothing to do with St. Edward's.
Okay.
Nothing. And then the words underneath it, I can't pronounce them because they're Latin, but it all means just God in my right.
Dieu et mon droit. God and my right.
I'll let you go with that.
I'm not too good at it either.
Now, the shield on the side is the authority. As you can see with heraldic stuff, you're supposed to read heraldic stuff from the back because the shield's facing the front and giving you authority from behind. But as we're looking at it as it is here, the three golden crown lions represent England. So that's on the top left. Then you go down to the bottom left, you got the harp of Ireland. Go back up to the top right, the red lion on a gold field represents Scotland. And then you've got the same down the bottom of the right-hand side. But this all is a common law guarantee.
Right.
This is where our common law starts, the very start of our Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act, consisting of its primary preamble, clauses 1 to 9, and the schedule. Now, the reason why it's a long-winded bloody name that I have is because today, or since 1973, the political parties don't recognise the preamble and only recognise clause 9. They don't recognise anything else of it. And then they only recognise clause 9 when it feels like it.
This brings up an interesting question because, with the common law assemblies, basically what we're doing is setting up an alternative government to the political party government under our Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act, which in other words brings us back under common law. But a lot of Australians don't want to be under the Crown anymore. However, when we get back to the Constitution, we're going to be, or we still are. How do we get out of the first 8 clauses? Is it possible to hold a referendum of the people and everybody votes to get out of that to create an independent sovereign nation?
No, it's not. We're bound to the whole lot, and that's the preamble and the first 9 clauses are basically what they call the Imperial Act. That can only be taken out by England.
So how do we get them to do that?
Well, why would you want to? While we've got that in place, we guarantee common law. It guarantees our King James Bible, the whole issue right through. It guarantees all our freedoms, our land rights, everything.
Well, I think a big problem for a lot of people now is that the Queen is seen as a traitor because she hasn't lived up to her royal oath when she was crowned.
She has.
Not entirely.
It's in her oath, she has to govern Australia. That's the Australia that's created under the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act. In her oath, she governs that because if you go to Section 61 of the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act, it tells you the executive power, and the executive power is transferred to the Governor General. She still sends or signs the commissions for the Governor-General and for the state governors. The treason starts here when we remove the signet, which is the authenticity of that commission.
Okay, so in other words, since 1960, when Sir William Slim, the Governor-General, retired, we haven't had a lawfully appointed Governor-General, have we?
No, and therefore any law done by the Commonwealth under that, any Governor-General from that time hasn't got Crown authority, because he's outside the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act, because he's not sitting under Section 61 as being the authority. And also, it's when the letters patent came through in 1900 for the establishment of a Governor-General's office and State Governor's office, it is that letters patent is for the office. It's not the office that's the problem, it is the person sitting in the offices. See, like in Queensland, our Governor-General since 1985, 86, when the treason really started pushing forward, he sits there under a public seal of the state, which is a company seal created by the political parties for the political parties. Yeah, so and they tell you that.
Yeah, so it's got nothing to do with the Crown.
It's got nothing to do with the Crown whatsoever. It's the treason starts here. And they tell you, if you read the documents of the 2001 Constitution, if you read all the documents to that Constitution, they tell you straight that the Queen must sign the commission, and then the political parties put their company seal over that commission. That is treason there and then. And it's all there in black and white. You don't have to worry about dreaming it up. It is written in black and white, because that's all I refer to, is what's black and white.
It's also detailed in your book in great detail and very clearly explained if you go through that.
Dick Yardley's book, Australian Political and Religious Leaders, Treason, Treachery and Sabotage. Dick exposes how Whitlam, Hawke, Keating, Goss, Rudd and all the other Fabians have destroyed our manufacturing and agriculture. If you want to know exactly how they have done it, get Dick's book at advanceaustralia.com.au and click on merchandise. Knowledge is power. Get the power to fight the corruption today.
Now, a question here though is, and the reason I asked that question before is because quite a lot of people do want Australia to become an independent sovereign nation. And so if the majority will is to do that, wouldn't it be possible for us to amend our constitution first to a new government system? Because the one that is in the constitution today is not working. And one of the main problems is in section 128, the constitution gives only the parliament the right to initiate referendums, and the people have no rights. So what do we do about that?
The only reason why the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act is not working, is not taught in schools, it's not taught in the professors. You take a look at a lawyer. How can you have a lawyer, a barrister and a pretend QC? They're the biggest, dumbest bastards out. How can they study law when the professors at university don't teach the Constitution, which is our primary law?
Yeah.
And our Constitution, or the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act, is known as one of the best in the world. Because while we have the Crown sitting on top of us, that gives us all the rights to the ownership of land, all our rights, all the way from years gone by, right back to square one. It gives us all our rights. And because the political parties have been able to, they haven't actually changed the wording. What they've done is they've circumvented the wording into another system. Like they changed the definitions, which changes the whole act. This is a whole system of treason. And because you have all these professors, so-called dumb bastards, teaching people, solicitors and whatnot, how can they present the law when all they're doing is representing political parties which are outside the law to start off with?
Yeah, exactly. In sections 7 and 24, the parliament, the government can only be selected, or our government representatives can only be selected by the people, not political parties.
Yeah, and then you turn around, it's very simple. You look at pounds, shillings and pence. It's still in our constitution today. where the Governor gets paid, the Governor General gets paid in pounds, the Queen gets paid in pounds, the Senate gets paid in pounds, the House of Representatives get paid in pounds. You know, people just get a copy, a proper copy of the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act. Mike's got it on his site, Larry's got it on his site. It's there everywhere for you. Just get a copy and read. It's only 22 pages. Start reading.
Yeah, exactly. So basically what this all comes down to, all these problems, is that the political parties took the education out of our system in politics, basically, and our rights and freedoms.
If you listen to Senator Heffernan about pedophilia, you start to wonder how far back pedophilia started, when the political parties took ownership of the Governor General in the 2nd of February 1960. Where were the judges at that time in the High Court? Where were they when they were the constitutional guardians?
They were out fiddling little kids?
I don't know. I can't prove that. But when you turn around, and Senator Heffernan has that to say in the Royal Commission, which you can't have today because the political parties don't recognise royalty.
No.
So, and then they make up the rules of the Royal Commission, and make sure they can turn around, they get themselves out.
Yeah, I know, it's a farce.
It's a total farce. It's only because we're not taught where the rules are. And like I said, that seal on the top of the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act is a common law seal, and the whole Constitution is a common law contract of which we are bound. And that includes these treasonous political parties, the professors that teach treason, and the lawyers, barristers, and QCs pretend, because how can you have a QC? You take a look at Victoria today, their Chief Justice is a QC. How dumb can she be? And Victoria's been treated as a republic since 1975.
Yeah.
You know, what the hell's going on with these people? And you get a Supreme Court judge, he sits under the Royal Coat of Arms and then represents a political party which appointed him.
Yeah.
Are you interested in podcasts that uncover the truth? Tune into Widdershins Podcast. Straight from science fiction, we uncover the technologies being developed right under our noses. We bring to you the world's leading scientists, engineers, and experts to discover just how far away these things really are from becoming our reality. www.widdershinspodcast.com.
Right now, as you know, I'm very deeply involved in helping set up common law assemblies around the country. What's your comment on that?
It's a good idea, but I worry. This happened quite a few years ago and it fell flat on its face. I worry at the present time, although it's the best time to start it, I suppose, you know, but I worry that people don't understand the law and don't understand the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act, and then you just have to look at these what you would call so-called police pigs, thugs in Victoria at the present time, and quite a few other places. What's going to happen to those people when they stand up and these thugs but you know, look, let's be honest with you. If they had half a conscience, they couldn't sleep at night. That's how bad they are. And they call themselves police. They're just mercenaries because they got no crown or constitutional authority. They, you know, sort of words in my system can't explain it, what I think about them.
Well, that's why at these assemblies now, we are actually appointing sheriffs. And we are just about to swear in our first 4 sheriffs on the Sunshine Coast.
And 1 female, yay!
Okay. To be issued to any sworn agent of the sheriff or to, of the courts, or to all persons or law enforcement officers deputised by the courts or its sheriffs. I, and say your names.
I, Tony Noel,
being of sound mind, clear conscience,
do
hereby swear that I will faithfully and justly execute the office of an agent of the common law, court of justice, according to the best of my abilities. I understand that if I fail in my duties, or if I betray the responsibilities and trust of my office, I will forfeit my right to this position, and will face dismissal and possible legal action. I take this solemn oath freely, without coercion, reservation or ulterior motive. According to my conscience, as a free man or woman, and as a flesh and blood man or woman, and as a citizen under the authority and jurisdiction of the common law.
Right.
Congratulations.
And this is
Oh, yep.
this is
Yeah, no, that's fine. Here, you take that. I've got a folder over there. I've got a folder, yeah.
this is our sheriff. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Benjamin Carter, aka Ned Kelly, Sheriff of the Common Law Courts of Australia. Basically standing here for the community, for we the people, under common law to get out of the Admiralty laws of the world today.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for coming along today and helping us out.
Thank you.
And these sheriffs have the authority of common law, our Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act, and therefore they outrank the police. But it's all about numbers.
That's definitely right. It's about numbers. We need a lot more people behind the system to get it to right.
Right.
And if possible, some of the honest police could change and start teaching the other police that this is not right. Like, I watched a video there where a copper pulled up a lady and he just turned around and said to her, he says, "Oh, you're a common law believer. Why did you bother stopping?" And she said, "Well, you've got a gun."
Yeah.
And that's their power, the gun. They got no more power than that. And the uniform that gets hung on the bloody washing line, and they tell us that's where they get their power from. There's no authority there. They're no different to a bikie gang. They're just a mob of thugs.
Yeah.
Australia is our country, strong and brave and free. Let's not let it slip away by too much apathy. Remind ourselves that we have got the greatest land of all. Everything that man could want right here at our back door. Our government, what have you done? Shame, oh shame on you. Foreign ownership, you've sold us out, betrayed us through and through. Our foreign debt climbed up and up, unemployment hasn't dropped. The recession that we had to have, I wonder will it stop? Come on, stand up and fight for this land. Stand up, it's time to lend a hand. One for all and all for one. It's how this battle will be won. Come on, stand up and fight for this land. Our flag, our constitution, I like the human heart, pumping blood around the body to each and every part. If the heart stops beating, the body can't survive. The same will happen to Australia if we lose our flag. The Anzacs once our saviors, now we're
If you have chosen the Red Pill, then there is only one place to host your website. Enlightened hosting, no censorship. Domains, hosting, secure. Build your website and get online fast. www.redpillhosting.com.
If you're enjoying the Bloody Aussie Battler podcast, please consider donating to help keep us going. You can donate just once or make it a monthly donation. Any amount is welcome. To donate, go to our website at www.thebloodyauziebattler.com and click on Donate.